Welcome to another episode, everyone. Piru rapper Mausberg. Y'all remember him, right? Co-signed by DJ Quik. And then he was backdoored and killed. Check this out.
The rap scene in Compton during the 1980s and 1990s became one of the most influential movements in music history, helping create and popularize what the world would know as West Coast gangster rap. Compton itself was a city experiencing major economic and social changes. During the 1960s and 70s, many middle-class families left the area, while unemployment, poverty, gang activity, and crime increased in certain neighborhoods. By the early 1980s, many young people in Compton felt disconnected from mainstream America and believed that the realities of their lives were being ignored by politicians, the media, and much of the country. Hip-hop became a way to tell their stories. Compton artists often focused on life in their neighborhoods, which was affected by gangs, police activity, drugs, violence, and economic hardships. Their music was controversial, but it reflected realities that were rarely discussed publicly at the time. The most important group to emerge from Compton was NWA, which formed in the mid-80s. The group included Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, MC Ren, and DJ Lled, among others. Their 1988 album, Straight Outta Compton, changed rap forever. The album painted vivid pictures of the street life in Compton and challenged law enforcement and government institutions, along with social inequality. Songs from the album generated massive controversy, including criticism from law enforcement agencies and political figures, but the attention only increased the group's popularity. NWA's success showed that rap artists could build careers by speaking directly about the realities of their communities, rather than trying to fit into the mainstream expectations. Compton's influence expanded even further because of Dr. Dre's production style. After leaving NWA, Dr. Dre helped develop the G-Funk sound. The G-Funk sound became the dominant style of the West Coast rap throughout much of the 90s and influenced artists around the world. Compton was no longer just a city in Southern California. It had become a global symbol of the West Coast hip-hop culture. The success.
And yes, indeed, in NWA's heyday, everyone was coming after them, including law enforcement, because of some of the rap lyrics that they had, some of the influence that they had in the community, and really they were pioneers on the West Coast, with their rap and with their lyrics, with the group, one of the first ones really, and so they had a lot of say so and a lot of influence, and a lot of individuals didn't like that, but they spawned a lot of individuals who became rappers and wanted to be rappers because of them and their group.
The Compton artists also brought attention to the city's gang culture. The city had long-standing rivalries involving various sets associated with Pirus and Crips. Many rappers had direct or indirect connections to neighborhoods affected by gang activity, and gang references often appeared in lyrics, videos, and public images. Some artists also used music as a way to escape street life, while others found themselves pulled back into the neighborhood conflicts. This connection between rap and gang culture created both authenticity and controversy. Critics argued that music glorified violence, while supporters argued that artists were documenting realities that already existed. Despite its success, Compton's rap scene faced numerous problems. Violence surrounding the music industry became a concern, with some artists becoming involved in personal disputes, gang-related tension, and criminal investigations. Record labels often profited from the controversial images, while artists themselves...
All of the same things that's going on now with the rap lyrics and the internet and everything. Personal beefs, personal disputes, people can't get along, people catching cases, the feds watching.
Dealt with real dangers in their neighborhoods. Many young people idolized rappers without fully understanding the difficult circumstances that inspired the music. And many rappers having street ties eventually became their downfall. And that leads us to this story. Johnny Burns, later known as his stage name Mausberg, was born on February 18, 1979 in Compton. He grew up in a community known on the west side of Compton known as Campanella Park, which is a Piru hood. The name Campanella Park comes from a park in their community named after a former baseball player. As a kid, Mausberg participated in local sports, playing baseball as a kid and leads in his neighborhood. Like many young kids, he had dreams and aspirations of being a big sports star, but as he got older, the reality of his neighborhood set in.
Campanella Park is a well-known Piru hood in the Los Angeles area. They don't play. This is where Mausberg originates from.
Gang activity became one of the most visible realities of the era. Various neighborhood groups and rivalries existed throughout Compton and surrounding communities. For many residents, avoiding trouble often meant being careful about where they went, what colors they wore, or who they associated with, and what streets they traveled through. By the early 90s, while rap music was generating millions of dollars and putting Compton on the map, many local residents continued struggling with poverty, crime, and limited economic opportunities. The fame of the city did not automatically solve its problems. Campanella Park was a dangerous area to grow up in. They had several Crip and Southsider gangs to worry about, making the area one of the most dangerous areas to live in and to be from. With the influences around Mausberg, by just living in that area, he fell in the gang lifestyle, and it was easy. He didn't have a father figure in his life, with his dad being absent, like so many other kids in the urban communities. He found his guidance in the streets. By his teenage years, he loved sports alone and became a full-fledged Piru. He was big in stature, being around 6'3" and 300 pounds. That made many people call him Bear.
Bear, 6'3", 300 pounds. See, we hear these stories often as well. Like Suge Knight was playing ball at first, then he took to the street and started the record company and what have you, with brute force, if you will. A lot of these individuals are in school, they're playing ball, and then for whatever reason, they end up taking to the streets. The environment, oftentimes, the pull of the streets is stronger than their need to want to do better. And the people in the community are not helping. 6'3", 300 pounds. He could have been anything or anyone, like myself.
He became well respected in his area, but he also found another passion, and that would be music. He began rapping in his high school, and he spent a lot of his time with his friends developing his skills. By the time he was 18, he was a respected MC in his area. His life changed in 1997 when he met DJ Quik. Quik immediately recognized something special in the young rapper. At the time, Quik was already a respected producer and rapper. Mausberg wasn't just another rapper hanging around the studio. He had a deep voice, smooth delivery, sharp storytelling ability, and charisma that made many people pay attention whenever he spoke. Many people called him the West Coast Biggie. Quik began bringing him into recording sessions and mentoring him personally. Stan Shepard was a part of various groups during the 70s and 80s. In later years, he teamed up with Tony Lane to form Shepard Lane Music. He managed to work closely with DJ Quik. He had artists like Sugar Free and others signed. He then signed Mausberg after seeing his potential.
You signed Mausberg.
Yeah, we all know Mausberg. If you were around back then, you know exactly who Mausberg is. Indeed, considered the West Coast Biggie. The West Coast Biggie Smalls. And the way that he ended up going out was, it's happening so often in our communities that we are desensitized to it. But who knows how successful this young man could have been given the chance.
Mausberg from the west side of Compton, babe. That man was so cold-blooded. And Quik heard him and said, Stan, whatever y'all want me to do, I'm ready to roll. Let's just do it. Because this dude is, hey, man, I love Mausberg.
Many fans first heard Mausberg on DJ's Quik 1998 album, particularly on a song called Down Down. Over the next few years, his reputation grew rapidly. He worked alongside artists such as Sugar Free, Snoop Dogg, Nate Dogg, and Warren G. He appeared on Snoop Dogg's album No Limit Top Dog and released a connected project with Sugar Free. Within California's rap scene, many insiders believed that Mausberg was next in line to become a major star.
Yeah.
He was always ready to hit the studio and had major work ethic. With DJ Quik by his side, he was destined to make it, many stated. July 3rd, 2000, around 10:45 p.m., that was the last time many seen Mausberg alive. He was at a studio with DJ Quik, and they were finishing a few tracks for his up-and-coming album. It was said he was excited about the songs Quik was mixing, and you could see it on his face. As the night switched to July 4th of 2000, Mausberg was home, and he was studying from his DMV handbook because he was tired of being drove around, and he planned to get himself a car. He was home until about 12:45 a.m. before he walked out his front door of his apartment for the last time. What happened next? Mausberg was shot twice and murdered. Many rumors started to circulate on the reason why. Many stated he was robbed for a recent amount of money he received from his label, which many speculate could have been from people he actually knew. Other theories believed it was just him being known and being a gang member living in a gang-filled area. Mausberg's death was shocking. He was a rising star by many accounts, and he was destined to go far in the industry. His funeral attracted thousands of family, friends,
and who knows exactly. More than likely, it was indeed a backdoor of some sort. Because individuals catch on that you just signed a record deal, you get money, you have money now. They're coming for you, man. When you live in these sort of environments, we see it all of the time. We see individuals flashing money on Instagram or whatever these days, and individuals come and rob them the same day, the next day, whatever, and sometimes take their lives. So who knows? It could have been jealousy, envy setting in. He done signed a record deal. He's only 21 years old, still young, an active member in the street. That's why we have to be careful. You can't really do both. And we see individuals doing this sometimes. They're straddling the fence. They're in the street, gang banging, tough-minded, gang-minded, gangster-minded, and then they're also in the industry or trying to break into the industry or some sort of industry or trying to be successful and trying to be a family man, have kids at home, etc. at the same time that they're trying to be in the street. You can't serve two gods. You have to make your decision and stand on it.
Fans, which his music was blasted outside of his funeral, showing his impact. Mausberg's death deeply affected DJ Quik. He stated in a XXL interview, "I was in bed when we had just dropped him off. It was July 3rd. We had been working all day. He took the 4th of July off so he could be with his family, and I would be at a family reunion. But I felt that something was wrong. I wanted to go pick him up on a motorcycle, but people were telling me, nah man, he's chilling. So I went home and I went to sleep. Around midnight, I got a call saying, Mausberg is dead. He was just a young man. Fuck being a rap artist. He's a human being. Who did he piss off so bad to take his life? That's resentment. That could have been fixed with an apology or two men having an understanding. Why kill him? Why didn't he get his money from the record company? He had already started to generate income. Why didn't he get enough money to move out the hood? Being in the hood causes jealousy.
Yes, being in the hood causes jealousy, and there's always going to be a lot of questions when something like this happens. There's a lot of whys here. Why would someone come into where he's at and put two bullets inside of him and take his life? Doesn't necessarily sound like any gang activity. That's normally something that transpires out there on the street, drive-bys, whatever, but it's out there on the street. People coming to your home specifically, oftentimes has more to do with something personal, not a gang hit, but something personal. An individual has something personal against you, whether it be based on envy or a legitimate gripe. They have something personal against you, or again, there to do a robbery, thinking that you are flush with cash because you're coming up in the industry now. You're too big. He's a big individual, right? 6'3", 300 pounds. They're not going to come and try to fight this man. They're going to come and try to put him down when they have some sort of gripe against him. Unfortunate, man. 21 years old, was just getting started with his life, was, I'm sure, headed to success. And who knows how successful he would have been. We've lost so many people like this so young. And who knows how successful these individuals would have been and how they could have helped the community if given the opportunity, giving themselves the opportunity, and then life, the powers that be, also affording them the opportunity. Oftentimes, many people don't get it.
Sometimes you start being popular, and why didn't Stan Shepard and them give him his money to move out of the neighborhood so he could be safe? He was just a child. It's sad to hear that, but I couldn't even go to the hospital to see him. They say he died with tears in his eyes. Damn, tears in his eyes. But that's life. Mausberg's album was released after his death. It was a 16-track album called Nonfiction. DJ Quik later stated, I wasn't satisfied with the mastering. I spent a lot of money personally, maybe 40 grand in the studio to produce it right. When I finally mixed the record, I gave it to Stan Shepard. He took them to a hole-in-the-wall mastering plant and made the whole album sound like an MP3. So of course, I was unhappy. He continued by saying, it was a pretty shady thing to happen. If I would have been the label head, I would have definitely given Mausberg the chance when he got his publishing deal. Do you know what they did? They stripped the pig down and threw him in the lion's den. That's what you do to somebody who's going to be hot. You keep him in the hood and take their money from him.
Yeah.
You set him up for all kinds of shit.
Damn.
Quik continued to be very vocal throughout the years.
And that's exactly what people do, man. That's crazy. How many times have we seen individuals, these record executives, become thirsty or accused of not paying their artists? It's just something very sinister that happened with this situation right here. It's something very deep and something very sinister. Someone wanted this young man, very young, again, 21 years old, out of the way for their own personal reasons and for their own personal gain.
Mausberg was only 21 years old when his life was cut short. To many, he had endless potential to be the next Compton great, but his life ended before he could reach stardom. R.I.P. to him.
Hey, man, shout out to Warren Cali. Y'all go check out Warren Cali. Subscribe to this channel if you have not done so. The Inside Story here with me, Damian Porter. Subscribe to my second channel, Reactionary Politics. The link is in the description. We're having real conversations over there. Rest in peace to Mausberg right here, man. He was fully involved in the streets, as we can see, according to the narration. And this is what happens sometimes when we are involved in the streets. It doesn't have to be that you're involved in the streets, though. There are people who are not involved in the streets, have never been involved in the streets in any sort of way, and they lose them lives. So they lose their lives. Celebrities and all people who are getting money or whatever, for whatever reason, envy, jealousy sets in, and it has nothing to do with the streets. Again, this doesn't appear to have anything to do with any gang activity. So you can't necessarily say it was about the streets. This is about someone who was coming up young, on his way to success, and someone had a problem with that for whatever reason. They wanted his position. They wanted his money. It could be that individuals were in fear of him for whatever reason. And so, a lot, right? Because the case was not solved. It wasn't solved. As a lot of unalivings go unsolved here in this country. I mourn for that young man and for his family, having lost his life at such a young age. Because again, we just do not know how human beings will evolve, how we will mature when given the opportunity. A 21-year-old individual is extremely different than a 51-year-old individual. They think different. So who knows who he could have been at 51? Someone who could have helped to change the world. We don't know. You may say no, but you don't know that. And we'll never get the opportunity to find out because so many die so young. Let me know what you think in the comments. Stay safe and stay free, people.